that was number 2 from Giuliani's Op.50, titled Grazioso. And you might have the sheet music already. It's a very popular collection, but if you don't, I do have a new edition of all 32 pieces in Op.50. Op.50 is ranges from like easy pieces to mid-intermediate, and they're just all quite lovely pieces, major and minor keys, and a variety of different textures. So it's really great for students or professionals playing gigs, or just for sight reading and just enjoyment in practicing and playing. So a really nice classical era or late classical era collection for the classical guitar. So in this particular piece, it opens up with a fairly simple texture and a very clear melody. And when you arrive down at bar 17, you have a much more active accompaniment, but the melody is very, very similar. It's almost the same. There's some slight changes to it, but hard to say what the melody is exactly. You know, there's some mixed in arpeggios at the end of it. But sometimes when you have that, it's really nice to compare the first couple bars to the new section. So let's do the first 4 bars and then compare it to bar 17. And then bar 17. So pretty much the same melodic material with a slight, difference in the way he delivers it. But that's a very important point. So you should really focus on the melody and bring out the similarities between the two sections as much as possible. So it's clear that he's kind of repeating the same material, but with a different level of accompaniment. In terms of the right-hand fingering in this piece, I'm generally using my fingers for the top notes and my thumb for the bottom one. So trying my best to kind of alternate as much as I can. Sometimes on long notes you can repeat a finger, but in general alternate these fingers, and I'm using my thumb for all the bass notes in there, except at places like bar 4, where the open G there really feels like just an accompanimental inner voice, rather than part of a bass line. When you play a bass line on its own, feels like that rather than in bar 4. I think it's really just accompaniment. So then I'll use my I finger on that. And then at bar 17, it's pretty much the same thing, alternating fingers on the top, and then P and I for the accompaniment. This is a very common classical era texture, accompaniment texture. Alberti bass feel. So kind of like on the piano, you'd be doing this while this hand does melody. So you really bury the I finger, soft, because the I finger doesn't want to pop out of the texture. You really just want that melody to come out and the bass to sing a little bit, and then everything else is buried. So not too much to talk about. There's a couple of little sections where I've written in some right-hand fingering. In bar 20, for example, I use I-M on the bass line at the end there. You could use your thumb, but it really depends on your tempo. At faster tempos, you'll probably use your fingers. Same thing at bar 24. I've marked in some just a little bit of right-hand fingering. So there's just like really like 2 bars where you just have to pay a little bit of close attention to your right hand fingering, but otherwise it's really just like a uniform texture most of the time that you play through. Besides that, there's not much to look at. It's all very regular chord shapes, nothing strange or irregular in this piece. At the end, just be careful start with second finger. That way you end up with the fourth finger there. And then you can play the final cadence. But another very strong melodic piece, so real strong presentation of the melody is your main priority.